Now it's time to get some practice in. Go ahead and meet me on page 273 in your Go Math book. We're going to be doing problems 6 through 11. I know that sounds like a lot of problems, but I think we need some practice with this. Now remember, the way we're going to do these is I'm going to tell you the problem, but you also have it in your book, and then you're going to go work it out on your own, come back, put your answer in, and then see how I solved it. You got to watch closely when you're seeing how I solved it to see if you got the right answer. Now remember, if you don't get the right answer, I want you to compare your work to my work to see where you went wrong. That's a really important part of math when I can't see your work, is identifying where you went wrong in your work. Hopefully you'll get them all right and you won't have to worry about that. But let's go ahead and get started. As you can see, number 6 is 7 9/10 times 3 4/10. Now, as we've talked about, we do not have to line up the decimals when we're multiplying. These happen to be lined up just because of where they are in the number. Go ahead and work this one out and then come back to me. Let's work out problem number 6. 4 times 9 is 36. 4 times 7 is 28, 29, 30, 31. Make sure you put your placeholder in there. It's very important. Don't forget that 0. 3 times 9 is 27. 3 times 7 is 21, 22, 23. Let's add those up. 6 plus 0 is 6. 1 plus 7 is 8. 3 plus 3 is 6. And then there's a 2. Now's the important part, when we have to go through and swoop to figure out how many decimal points in we need to be. So we're going to start at the top decimal point. We're going to swoop out. That's 1. Swoop out again. That's 2. Let's count those again. 1, 2. Drop it down. 1, 2. So this tells us that 7 9/10 times 3 4/10 equals 26 86 tenths. I hope that's the answer you got. Let's move on to the next one. Number 7 is 9 2/10 times 5 6/10. Go ahead and work it out and come on back. Let's work out number 7. Again, they're lined up, but they don't have to be. 6 times 2 is 12. 9 times 6 is 54. Made me think there. And a 1 is 55. Remember your 9's trick if you remember it. Make sure you put your placeholder 0. 5 times 2 is 10. 5 times 9 is 45. Plus 1 is 46. And let's add it up. We've got 2, 5, 5 and 6 is 11. I know that because 5 is a double, so 5 plus 5 is 10. Add 1 more, you get 11. And there's our 5 there. Now let's swoop. We've got 1, 2, drop it down, 1, 2. So 9 2/10 times 5 6/10 gets us 51 52 hundredths. I hope you got that one right. Let's move on. Remember to pause the video at any point that you need to. You have the freedom to do that on your computer. Number 8 is 3 45 hundredths times 9 7/10. Go ahead, work it out. All right, let's multiply this one. As you can see on this one, the decimals are not lined up on the magical decimal line, and that's okay. 7 times 5 is 35. 4 times 7 is 28, 29, 30, 31. 7 times 3 is 21. Did I do that right? 28, 29, 30, 31. Yep, sometimes you have to go back and check. 7 times 3 is 21, 22, 23, 24. Add my placeholder. 9 times 5 is 45. 9 times 4 is 36, 37, 38, 39, 40. 9 times 3 is 27. I struggle with my 9 sometimes. 28, 29, 30, 31. Let's add it up. 5, 6, 4, 3, 3. Now let's start swooping. We've got 1, 2, 3. Bring them down. 1, 2, 3. So we know that 3 45 hundredths times 9 7/10 gives us 33 465 thousandths. Notice that it's thousandths because we swooped 1, 2, 3 So when you swoop 1, 2, 3 in, that's going to get you thousandths. Hope you got the right answer. Jump to number 9. Number 9 says 45 and 3/10 times 8/10. Go ahead and work it out. Let's work out number 9. 3 times 8 is 24. 8 times 5 is 40, plus 2 is 42. 8 times 4 is 32, plus 4 is 36. Check your work. Make sure your work looks like mine. 0 times 3 is 0. 0, 0. Remember, I did not have to add those in, but I like to remind myself to. Let's go ahead and add it up. And start swooping. Make sure your work matches mine. 1, 2. Drop it down. 1, 2. So we know that 45 and 3/10 times 8/10 is going to give me 36 and 24 hundredths. Again, we know it's hundredths because we swooped 1, swooped 2, and if you swoop in from the right twice, you're going to get to hundredths. Let's do number 10. For number 10, it says 6 and 98 hundredths times 2 and 5/10. Go ahead and work it out. Let's do number 10. 5 times 8 is 40. 5 times 9 is 45, plus 4 gives me 49. 5 times 6 is 30, plus 4 is 34. Make sure your work looks like mine. Add that 0. Do not forget the 0. 2 times 8 is 16. 2 times 9 is 18, plus 1 is 19. 2 times 6 is 12, plus 1 is 13. Let's add it up. 9 plus 6 is 15. 9 plus 5 is 14. 3 and 3 and 1 is 7. And bring that 1 down. Now let's go ahead and count our swoops. Swoop, there it is. Yeah, no, okay. 1, 2, 3. Count that again. 1 swoop, 2 swoop, 3 swoop. Bring it down. 1 swoop, 2 swoop, 3 swoop. There it is. Swoop, there it is. Yeah, okay. We've got 6 and 98 hundredths times 2 and 5/10, and we know that the answer is 17 and 450 thousandths. Remember, we can leave off that 0, and we get 17 and 45 hundredths. Last question coming up. Let's go over number 11. So looking at this one, go ahead and work on it and come on back. All right, so 2 times 4 is 8. 4 times 0 is 0. 4 times 7 is 28. Let's bring that 0 down. 3 times 2 is 6. Make sure you put your 0 placeholder there. 3 times 0 is 0. 3 times 7 is 21. Let's add it up. 8, 6, 8, 3, 2. Count those swoops. 1, 2, 3. Drop it down. 1, 2, 3. This tells us that 7 and 2 hundredths times 3 and 4/10 is 23 and 868 thousandths. I hope that's what you got as well. Next, you have a couple pages to do on your own, and then you'll meet me back in the Google Meet.